All right, well, good afternoon, Rio Vista Community Church. My name is Tom Hendrikse. I'm the senior pastor here at Rio, and I'm coming to you this afternoon from our worship center. It is Friday, March 13, and I'm coming with a report on how it is that we as a church are going to participate in what the city and the community is doing to mitigate and to combat the effects of the COVID-19 virus. As I'm sure many of you guys have been doing, we also have been very carefully watching the reports that have come out from the federal government today, also from the state government, also today from our county, and then most recently, as about an hour ago, from our own city. And one of the things that they are all consistently doing is they are all consistently discouraging, and indeed the city is prohibiting, that's the language used, large gatherings of people. Well, obviously, that affects us as a church, and so then the question is, how do we participate in that? And the answer, I think, is we participate as people who are a part of the broader city of Fort Lauderdale and as people who are for the city of Fort Lauderdale. We had the privilege yesterday of being on a conference call together with about 113 other Christian leaders and had the opportunity to hear from our vice mayor and also people from Broward Health who are speaking into how the county is handling this and how the city is handling this. And they have asked us as the church to be helpful in this process by changing the way that we do our large gatherings and worship services. So that's exactly what we intend to do in respect of the medical community and their input into this, in honor and in obedience to the government that God has placed above us and over us. We intend to fully participate in what they're asking us to do. So here's what that looks like. What that looks like is that instead of us gathering together in person for worship on this Sunday morning and for maybe a few Sundays to come, we'll be taking this on a week-by-week basis and checking in and reporting to you in terms of what our plan is. But it looks like us, instead of gathering at 9 o'clock in the morning and 11 o'clock in the morning together as a group, all going online, going to the app, going to the website, going to Facebook, going through YouTube, coming through a variety of different means together at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning and worshiping together virtually. So that's what we're going to invite you into. Now, one thing I want to discourage you from doing, because I know some of you are going, I'm just going to show up at 10 because I want to be there in person. Listen, I would love to see you in person. I really would. Like, very, very much so. I would even give you an elbow bump if you were here in person because, I'm willing to do that. I'd Purell my elbow. But after that, it'd be awesome to see you. However, we're not just a church, we are also a school. And we have sanitized and disinfected this entire campus, and we're preparing for school to start on Monday. So if you come on Sunday, that's going to create additional work and labor for us. We are encouraging everyone in obedience to the government to stay home, but to tune in from home. And when we get together on Sunday, we're going to give you some ideas on how you can worship together as a family, and we'll speak to those particular issues. So there are just a couple other things that I would say. First of all, I would say pray. Listen, at 11:09 every day as a church, we're hitting our knees to pray. I was reminded by a pastor friend of mine, Roby Barnes, just about 10 minutes ago, that the second Great Awakening started through the prayers of a man named Jeremy Lanphier in New York City. He gathered together with 6 people, and then it went to like 15 people, and then after a few weeks it was up to 30 people. And then a great financial crisis hit, and then it was 10,000 people. Who knows what the Lord is doing, guys? We simply don't know, but we're looking for Him to work. So pray. Secondly, look for the good. Look for God to work. He says that there's good in everything that we experience. Ask Him to show you what He wants to do in your heart as a result of this crisis. There may be fear that He wants to address. There might be anxiety that He wants to address. Ask Him what He wants to do through you to bring the love and the mercy of Christ to other people through this crisis. And we'll talk more about ways to do that on Sunday as well. But then lastly, I would say, look, don't freak out. The Bible comes to us, the Apostle Paul, who we've been studying, and he says, look, God has not given you a spirit of fear. I want you to hear that. He doesn't just say God doesn't make you fearful. He says God has not given you a spirit of fear. It's a spirit of fear. Fear is a spirit. But of love instead. But of power. Of self-control. That is the work of the Spirit of God. You may have more time on your hands in the next week or 2 weeks or however long this lasts to spend time with the Spirit of God. I want to encourage you to do that. So you might be thinking, all right, well, what about Monday night? Because I'm planning to come to the Rio Women in Worship on Monday night. Or maybe you're thinking, all right, but I'm planning to come to the men's breakfast on Tuesday morning. In other words, what about some of our smaller gatherings? Okay, well, Monday night, we're not going to have the Rio Women in Worship. And Tuesday morning, we've also canceled the men's breakfast. But here's what we are doing. We're getting together as a leadership team on Tuesday morning, and we're going to look at various options by which we can safely facilitate the smaller group meetings as well. In other words, the life of the church is going to go on, and there are going to be ways to participate in it. In fact, the life of the church may be more valuable right now than it is when we actually can get together. So be looking for those things. And tune in Sunday, 10 o'clock. If you were all here, I'd make you say at 10 o'clock. And we'll see you virtually. Love you guys. Praying for you.